What is happening, everybody? MG here, MG Covers, bringing you a brand new handicapping video. Title of this video is when do we play the money line versus when do we take the points? It's a really good video. Super excited. I'm going to give you a real live example. I say live example. It's a real life example from a win that I had yesterday. Before we do that, as always, if this is your first time watching this video, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If you want to learn about sports handicapping, you're at the right place. You get a ton of content. You will learn a lot just by subscribing. If you follow me on Instagram, same deal with my social media. I put out a ton of free content. So just you get a lot of value simply by following me. You will learn a lot about sports betting. And if you want to do that, it's MGCovers, covers spelled with a Z, on Instagram as well as Twitter. All righty, so let's dive right into it. Let me pull this up. What we're going to talk about is a game that I had yesterday in college basketball between boom. Here we are. Okay, we had the Binghamton, New Jersey Institute of Technology game. Not a popular game, right? Okay, so again, the title of this video is, when do we know when to? I get this question a lot, and it's a good question. When do we know when to play the money line versus when do we know we should take the points? And this is obviously in a underdog situation. So in this particular game, let's look at the line. The line was Binghamton plus 8.5. New Jersey Institute of Technology was minus 8.5. Now, everything that I do starts with a stat model. That is the most important. That is the foundation of everything that I do, everything that I teach, which means the very first thing we do is we have to establish, do we have value or not? Now, I should have screenshot my line for this game, but my line for this game was Binghamton minus 8. This is very important. Binghamton minus 8. So if my line is minus 8, and when I was handicapping this, I come across this and I love to see this. I see Binghamton is plus 8.5. Anytime I see a situation where I have a team that is a significant favorite via my line, via my power rankings, and I look at the sportsbook lines and they are heavy underdogs, I am going to give that game serious attention, serious consideration. I'm going to look at that game. It doesn't mean I'm going to play it, right, automatically, but it just means I'm going to give that game a lot of focus and make sure I handicap that game from A to Z, because that's going to offer a ton of potential. And in this case, it was plus 8.5. Let's pull up, whoops, my bad. Let's pull the screen back down and I'll show you what the money line was. Binghamton plus 8.5. We go over here at money and we see that Binghamton was, depending on which book, I think when I actually played it, the game, it was plus 305. So that is a ton of value. So again, back to the premise of the video. So my line is minus 8. Sportsbook line is plus 8.5. So how do we know whether or not we're going to take the 8, the plus 8, or we're going to play this on the money line? And I want to show you this next screen here, because this is important. All right, we'll stop this screen here and we'll go share this one here. All right, let's go over to another cool site that I use a lot, and I think a lot of you know this already, is teamrankings.com. Hopefully this is up. Is this up here? Yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, here we are. Okay. I'm going to go full screen just so it's a little bit easier to see. All right, so what you're looking at here, this is all right, see where I got all these games highlighted? I always focus on the last 10 games. My model uses the last 5 for college basketball, but for this, I always want to see, what this team's doing in the last 10 games or the last 5. And you can see here, this is Binghamton. Okay, now this is important. They had just beaten New Jersey NJIT the day before. 76-63. So they blew them out the day before. Now, this is what I'm seeing. This is crazy, but I am seeing this trend in college basketball this year. You have teams playing each other back-to-back days. They'll play on a Friday, they'll turn around and play again. People are assuming, now this does happen, if a team wins, sometimes the team that lost the previous day ends up winning the next day. And all of these cheesy betting sites will use the term revenge. The reason a team loses one day and wins the next has nothing, I mean absolutely nothing to do with revenge. It has to do with a concept called regression to the mean. If you are a coaching client, you have access to this video called regression to the mean. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but that's why that happens. It has nothing to do with revenge. So Binghamton won pretty convincingly, 76-63. And you look at this, the game prior to that, they had lost to New Hampshire 65-71. Same deal. They beat them the day before, 65-44. They lost to Massachusetts Lowell, 67-77. And of course, and then they got blown out there. So, but you can look here, they're starting to, you start to see a trend. I mean, this team, you know, obviously they're not a good team. They had just won the day before. They had beat NJIT for their third win of the year. Okay. So Binghamton's not a great team. All right. Now, this is where we make our decision right here. All right. So let's go look at New Jersey Institute of Technology. Again, I'm at teamrankings.com. Good resource for sports bettors, by the way. Let's see. NJI2. Okay, there they are. All right, now check this out. Why this thing load? Okay, here we go. All right, so let's highlight their last 10 games. Prior to the game we were capping. Sorry about that. Is that 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So they lost this game right here, right? They lost to Binghamton 63-76. Got blown out by Hartford, beat Hartford. Close game with Maryland. Lost. Stony Brook lost. Beat Stony Brook, then lost to Albany. 2 games, lost to Maine. Now, here's the thing to think about. This team here, whoops, let me pull this back up. Whoops. All right, and their last, look at this. Their last 10 games, they had only won 3 games. 3 games out of their last 10. And what was our odds? Plus 305. So here's the way that I sort of think about this. I don't get too complex. I just sort of logically think this through. The team, it's a classic play against. This team here's only won 3 out of their last 10, and we're getting plus 305. That's huge, huge, huge value, right? So we're getting plus 305 odds against a team that's only won 3 out of their last 10 games. That is a no-brainer for me always. There's no reason not to play that on the money line at all, because you know, even if you don't have a stat model, you can just look statistically speaking, there's the last 10 games, they've only won 3. That gives them, quote, a 30%. That's kind of a cheesy way to do it, elementary math, but still a 30% chance of winning out of their last 10 games. Or to think of it this way, they've only won 30% of their last 10 games. And you can see here, Binghamton beat them convincingly the day before. And of course, again, we played this on the, let me pull this back up so you can see it. We played this on the money line, and it was indeed a winner. So really, and of course, I handicapped the game as far as making sure we had value in the game. We had several situational angles in our favor. I was making sure nobody was injured, etc. And the screen you're looking at here, let's go to just so people can show proof that I did play the game. This is from sportswatchmonitor.com. It's my monitoring service I've talked about a lot. And you can see here for college basketball, if you scroll right here, Binghamton plus 305. And of course, that was a win. So, okay, let me get it where I can get back on screen. So to summarize it, it's pretty simple. There's nothing too complex about it. Again, the foundation of it all is you have to have value. So my power rankings, we had value, right? We had a 16-point differential. So that was huge right there. The team, I always check the form of both teams. Neither team was great. And this situation comes up a lot. It's a classic play against. It wasn't so much that Binghamton was a great team, but we were playing against New Jersey Institute of Technology. We were getting plus 305 odds, and you'll see this situation a lot. You will see this situation a lot in moneyline sports, because the difficult part for the sports book is what? They have two bad teams, right? They have to make one the underdog, and they have to make one the favorite. Where's the value? The value is with the underdog. The same exact thing happens when you have two favorites, which means like two favorites via my power rankings, or in layman's terms, when you have two really good teams, the sports book has to make one the favorite and they have to make one the underdog. Where's the value? The value is with the underdog. So just understanding this concept, you'll find that it will make you a lot of money in the future. So when that situation comes up again, so when you're looking at, just to sort of summarize whether to play the money line. Okay, this is important. If let's say that line was like plus 120 Binghamton, maybe plus 130, I probably would not have played it because it doesn't offer a lot of value. But the fact that it was plus 305, we're getting plus 305 against a really, really, really bad team. It's a no-brainer. So a lot of it's just sort of, there's not some complex formula that I use. It's just, I just sort of think through it logically. And also know if I play, like, for example, let's say, so I win that one, right? That's plus, why am I holding my fist? So that's plus 300, right? If somebody taking the points and they win, they only get 1 unit. We've won 3 units. They've won 1. So it's a huge, huge advantage we have. And that's why you see, I end up playing so many dogs. Again, we don't hit all of them, but we hit enough of them to be profitable, and it allows us to decrease our win percentage and be profitable, very profitable long term. And while we're talking about that, this is for my monitoring service. I want to show you this real quick. Expert standings. You can see here at Sports Watch Monitor, we're currently super proud of this 4th best handicapper at Sports Watch Monitor for hoops combined, almost approaching 10 grand there. And that is out of 4 out of 68 handicappers. So super, super, super proud of that. And like always, if you want to become a client and get access to these same power rankings that had Binghamton winning that match, if I can pull this up, there we go. It is $29.95 per month. Again, you get access to the same power rankings that I use for all my sports. That includes NHL, NBA, soccer, hockey. You'll find a ton of value when it says create your own lines. You're able to take my line, compare that against the sportsbook lines to find value. Also on the website, you get access to how to handicap videos for all major sports. And this is important. I update the website with either a new video or a new post once a week. So you get a lot of new content about sports handicapping, a lot of just really insider information I don't post on YouTube, just like the concept of regression to the mean. That in itself will make you a ton of money in sports betting. And I think it often gets overlooked. You get unlimited email support, which means you can email me anytime and I'll answer a question. Maybe not right away, but I will get to that question. And if you want access to everything I just mentioned, in addition to all of my plays for all sports, that is $49.95 per month. You get access right now. That's NHL, college basketball, NBA, and of course, we have Major League Baseball right around the corner. So you get all of my power rankings for all sports. And then in addition to that, you get all my plays, and that's $49.95 per month. If you want to join for the entire year, that is $299. So if you take that $50 times 12, that's $600. You cut that in half, that is $299. So you get 50% off by paying for the entire year. So again, just to sort of recap, don't forget, it's really not that hard of a concept to learn whether to play the spread or the money line. If you're getting significant value, plus 200, plus 250, and the team that you're playing against is in poor form, just not a good team, more times than not, that's generally the way to go to play the money line as opposed to playing the spread. And also, too, remember on these money lines, in a game that you lose, you pay no juice because you're playing the money line. Whereas if you play that team on the spread and they lose, don't cover, you're going to end up playing the juice. So there's a lot of advantages, and it's kind of one of the secrets in sports betting. It's just advantageous to play money line dogs. So hopefully this video helped. And as always, hey, be smart, make good wagers, and you'll win long term. And we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.